Welcome to JazTime.com. Today we're going to be reviewing the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 39mm 114300 Rhodium dial. We're going to go through the pricing, the dial, the bezel, the case, the bracelet, and the movement, and tell you where you can buy it at JazTime.com for the lowest price anywhere online. Let's dive right in. This watch was released in 2015. It comes in 3 different colors: rhodium, purple, and blue. It's also 39mm in diameter, from my thumb to my index finger. And the retail price as of 2016 December is $5,700 US, but you can buy it at JazTime for around $4,700. That's a savings of $1,000. You get the exact same thing as you would at the authorized dealer, but at a fraction of the cost, and for the exact same product. So now we're going to go through and talk about the bezel, the dial here. Now the dial itself is a rhodium dial, and as I told you before, the dial comes in 3 configurations. Now this configuration rhodium has quite a special hour marker to it because it has these blue accents. Can you think of any other Rolex that has a silver dial or blue accents? I can only think of the Datejust 2 in steel with the slate diamond dial and the rhodium Yachtmaster, but none of them have this interesting blue dots here. Now you might think that these dots are luminous, and you'd actually be wrong. So I'm a little bit disappointed Rolex didn't put luminous hour markers, because the only thing that are luminous on this watch is just the hour minute hand, along with the 369. Now I'm going to turn off the lights, and perhaps you guys can see how it kind of glows in the dark for you. Okay, so that's what it looks like in the dark, and unfortunately the blue is not it's luminous, just that 369 and the minute and hour hand. But regardless, it's still a very beautiful watch, and let's move on along. Now, as I told you earlier, the dial itself, or the case, is 39mm. That makes it one of the larger ones because Rolex makes only up to 44mm, so 39 is quite a good size for a man, and it can also be used for a woman that likes to wear the fashionably larger watches. So that's the case itself. Now, it's using the Oyster case, as you can see here, and it has quite a thin profile, partly because it doesn't have an extra date function like some of the other Rolexes. This is a simple watch, as in it just tells the time, what watches are actually meant to do. Okay, so the case itself is made of a monoblock middle case. It has a screw down case back and a winding crown. So the winding crown you see here, you simply unwind. If you want to wind the watch, you haven't worn it in a while, put it in the first position and wind it. And it also has a screw down case back, as you see there. That's the case back. It's screw down and it's solid. Okay, now moving on to the bezel. The bezel is domed and it's made of stainless steel. Now that might appeal to many people because not everybody wants to have a fluted or a diamond bezel. They want something understated that's going to fit underneath the cuff and look every day, you know, sleek and sort of just understated. And that's what this bezel accomplishes. All right, now let's move on to the bracelet itself. The bracelet is going to be using this brushed stainless steel. It's an Oyster clasp. It has flat 3-piece links. And moving on to the buckle itself or the clasp, as you might also call it. It's an Oyster clasp, Oyster folding clasp, not an Oyster safety clasp, but an Oyster folding clasp. It's used on Datejust, on Milgauss, and a variety of other dress watches by Rolex. And just simply closes like that. Now I might also mention that it does have a extension Oh, I'm sorry, it does not have an extension. So unlike some of the other Datejust where you have a 5mm easy extension, this one does not have one. So do you see how there's no room to fold it? It stops right there. So if your hand is getting hot or cold, well, unfortunately, you really only have one selection for it. And that's how it looks, as you can see. Now, does that mean you can't adjust the watch? No, of course you can adjust the watch. You would have to probably go to your jeweler, because you see these little holes right there where my finger's pointing? Well, that's where you would make the adjustment, and a jeweler would probably be able to do that for you. Okay? And you know, I'll also note that on the clasp itself, what I've noticed is on the 2014s, they didn't have this mirrored finish on the clasp. And a lot of them had a sandblasted center clasp right there. And I've noticed that after like 2015, they stopped doing that on the Submariners and actually pretty much on every watch. So unless you guys know otherwise, let me know. Okay, now moving on to the movement. The movement is going to be a 31-32 caliber movement. It has a 48-hour power reserve, and it's a superlative chronometer, COSC cert, precise to ±2 seconds a day. Quite phenomenal. So let's just to recap, this 39mm Rolex Oyster 114300 retails for $5,700 and can be bought at JazTime.com for $4,700 or less. So check us out there. If you like this video, you can subscribe below, see our other videos. And if you want to purchase the watch, check us out at JazTime.com. That's JazTime.com. We offer a 1-year warranty, free shipping, and a low price guarantee. So what are you waiting for? We'll see you at JazTime.com.